Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today I wanted to go over 5 things not to do in Black Desert. And not necessarily not to, but if you're trying to get a head start into the game and progress faster than others, here are some tips that I can give you. And also, here are some mistakes that I possibly made when I was playing the game for the first time as well. So, first thing to do, in no particular order, I just have a list of 5 things I thought were pretty important, is 1, try not to be guildless. Now, I understand that some people just mostly play solo and, don't want to do anything else, but being in a guild always does have benefits, even if you don't really socialize, which, if you're playing an MMO, that's kind of, the point of the game, to make friends, talk to other people, do things together. However, in Black Desert, this game has a lot of different things, like, extra guild buffs and just passives for being into guilds. So most guilds, it doesn't matter what you do, whether you're a PvEer, PvPer, just life skiller, or, like role player. There's something for you here, all these different buffs and, just extra stats to have just by being in the guild. But I assume the most important reason is to do something that you enjoy doing together with a group. But either way, no matter what you do, there's probably a guild for something you enjoy doing, and just find it. But aside from that, there's extra stats and bonuses, and doing guild missions and everything. It's always more fun. So even if you play solo, just try to find a guild. You get free stats, always nice. The next thing I wanted to talk about is avoid only grinding. So as we all know, when you've come to Black Desert, you've probably heard about it from another person, or you've read a review, and it's actually kind of difficult to describe BDO to people who have never heard of the game before. And like anyone who's played the game, you found some sort of enjoyment out of it, right? But describing it to someone else who's never heard of it is probably a little bit difficult. So one thing that people have probably heard is BDO is a very grindy game, and to an extent it could be, but there's actually a lot of things to do in this game, and whether you're only grinding, PvPing, life skilling, what I'd recommend doing is actually just trying out everything in the game. If you've come from another MMO, you're probably like, oh, fishing in this game? Do that in any other game, right? But the fact that they have like a leaderboard and, actual life skill gear progression for all the people who don't like grinding circles all day is actually kind of refreshing. And if you do like everything, it feels different from other MMOs, which are just like generic things with no end game progress. Whereas in BDO, you actually feel like you're achieving a goal even when you're life skilling. So yeah, don't just run circles all day. If that's going to burn you out, try some life skilling. Try doing literally anything else. But I know a lot of people that got into this game and they really only just like running circles, grinding all day. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a video game. Do whatever you want. Do what makes you happy. But if you're feeling like, oh, why do I play this game just for doing that? Yeah, there's other things in the game to do. And trust me, when I first started, I was like, grinding makes the most silver. I'm going to only do that. And then I decided to try life skilling out, PvPing, and just everything in the game. And, that's how I don't burn myself out of the game. So next thing I want to talk about is try not to chase the meta for everything. Now, trust me when I understand, I enjoy competition just as much as everyone else, especially with my friends. And you know how if you've come from another game, you're like, all right, so our goal is to, for the most part, do the end game raids, do the best dungeons, get the best gear. BDO works a little bit differently in terms of gear progression. Like everything you have feels like you've earned it one way or the other. Whether you bought it, whether you enhanced it yourself. You can't really, sell everything, especially at the end game, and you have to somehow make it yourself. But either way, when you just play the game to meta chase, trust me when I say that you will burn yourself out faster than people who just do things for fun, even if it's not the most optimal way. And you know, like every time they release a new class is a good example. People are always going to be playing the top tier stuff, and then just like 1 month later, or maybe even like 2 weeks later, they're just like, why am I doing this? And then they always go back to their main class that they enjoy. Yeah, there's a reason for that. So I don't think it's wrong to meta chase and just do the most optimal things in the game. But if you're just playing to have fun and you're ultimately just progressing at your own pace, I think that's healthier and just not, you know, stressful in a way. So ultimately, you do whatever you want, but if you want to avoid burnout, just do the things you enjoy fun, even if it's not like the most silver and whatever in the game. All right, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is not only focusing on one thing, because in BDO, believe it or not, a lot of the things are connected to each other in one way or not. So like, for example, for grinding, if you're going for like treasure items, for example, like let's take the telescope, you would have to grind multiple places to get all the pieces. So that means you have to grind, you know, at least 3 different areas, maybe actually 2 of them, but now there's more. So when you focus on one thing at a time, it kind of like makes you feel like there's nothing else to do in the game. But if you decide to try life skilling out, then all of these are connected in a way of making more silver, but also it doesn't feel like you're doing the same thing every day. So for example, one thing I could tell you that I do is I do gathering. And every day I try to gather something I need. And for example, if you do cooking as well, you know how you need multiple materials to make whatever you're making, right? So let's say whatever I'm cooking for the week has like 5 different materials. Maybe on day 1, you collect material A, and day 2 is B. So it feels like you're doing something different. But at the end of the day, you're still making the same amount of silver, maybe more, depending on what you're doing. And so I guess let's talk about this for a second. In terms of life skilling, gathering, gather materials. Use those materials to cook, alchemy, process. That's how they're connected. Same with fishing and hunting. These are all active ability. Well, not fishing, but like most of these are active where you get materials and then you turn the materials into something passively to make more silver, and then you just learn more over time. Trading, farming, sailing, and bartering are all kind of like their individual ones, but you know, it just feels like if you do sailing and bartering, it feels like you're playing a different game than everyone else grinding circles. So I think it's definitely fun to check out and see what you can do. And there's always different gear for everything else. So life skillers have their own set of gear. And yeah, it's, you know, if you're trying to enjoy the game to the fullest, try not to focus on one thing all the time. If you have a goal, that's fine, but just try everything else. It's instead of doing one thing. And the last thing we want to talk about today is setting realistic goals. Now, some people have like the idea that they're going to get like top 1% in the year. And I'm not saying it's not possible. It definitely is. But unless you're playing like 18 hours a day, this game is really just like a marathon, and you don't really just get this in 1 week like you would in, you know, traditional MMOs where all you have to do is do the hardest dungeon or raid, and then suddenly you just have everything. But with that said, yeah, set realistic goals. Here's what I would recommend for all of you new players out there. Instead of going for all the pieces all at once, just focus on one piece of gear at a time. Don't gear roulette anymore. It's 2025. People don't really do that anymore. But like, for example, you know, you have 3 black stars at tap. Don't just slam them all at once and hope for the best. Just work on one piece at a time slowly for gear upgrades. And then worst comes to worst, that you're just down silver instead of down gear score. So that's, you know, good. And ultimately, just do what you think is fun. Play how you want to play. If you guys have any questions or need help getting pointed in the right direction for gear progress, or you just want to learn something more in specific, I'm happy to help you guys with all that. And yeah, so with that said, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Some things not to do. There's actually a lot of things I would say there's not to do in Black Desert, but I just wanted to choose 5 of them that I thought were relevant. If you enjoyed it, drop a like. Maybe I'll do a part 2 in the future. And yeah, so see you guys tomorrow. Peace.